Hello everyone.
Welcome to the Spirit Lounge podcast with me, David.
And me, Glenda.
And we are psychic mediums from both sides of the pond.
I'm in Australia.
And I'm in the UK.
And we're joining forces to discuss and talk about the world of psychics, mediumship, and all things spiritual. We might even throw some random life topics in there too.
So come with us now on our podcast journey. Let's see what's happening in the Spirit Lounge for today's episode. Well, hello listeners, and welcome to the Spirit Lounge. And I'm here, as usual, with my co-host, my co-pilot, Glenda in Australia. Hello, Glenda.
Hi, David. Go on, David. Tell everyone what we just did.
Well, this is the second take of this interview because we've just had a chat for about an hour, recording with our special guests. And I thought I was recording, but I didn't hit the fucking record button. So people, you're getting take two, I'm afraid, because I didn't record the first part. So anyhow, yes. Well, we have a special guest in the Spirit Lounge. So I'm going to lose my words completely now, aren't I? Because I've just really frustrated myself. Anyway, we have a special guest in the Spirit Lounge today. We have Oli Cox, psychic, medium, has his own podcast called Spirit Nonsense as well, has lots of fabulous special guests on there, so go and check that out as well. And also we'll put the links in the show notes as well. He also teaches, mentors, but I will let Oli tell you all about himself. But firstly, let's welcome Oli a second time to the Spirit Lounge.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much, David. Hey, Glenda.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks for being patient and to do this all again. Great time over here.
It's all good.
Hey, we've got to know each other, Oli. So, you know.
We have, yeah.
That's it. It just feels like I'm just chatting with friends. So I've enjoyed it. It's been good.
Yeah, that's it.
Oli, you're based in Kent, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. The Isle of Sheppey in Kent.
Oh, Isle of Sheppey. Oh, okay. Are there a lot of spiritualist like groups and things down that way?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few. Yeah, this sort of way. Yeah.
And do you join them? Have you joined them?
Yeah. We want to know now.
I've joined some I've left. Some of but yeah, there was a lot. There seems to be, I think Kent does seem to have quite a few. Like there's a lot of workshops going on, and I've got a lot of friends that are always doing demonstrations. There's always something going on, which is nice. But yeah.
So I'm trying to ask some different questions now compared to the first.
No,
they're great answers that we had. But yeah.
I love Spirit Nonsense. Oli, I've really enjoyed listening to you and getting to know you and all your guests that you've had on, and it's been interesting. I actually, we're starting this backwards. See, here we go, starting the interview backwards. But I must say, I really have enjoyed that episode you did with your friend from Ireland, the forensics lady.
Yeah.
That was fascinating. You guys have got to listen to that episode because your friend, what was her name?
Roisin O'Reilly, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. That the way that she went on her journey.
And like, I mean, there was a lot that we cut out, and there was so much more because there was some bits that we couldn't actually release because there was just so much that
stuff
she had to say. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, like, but yes, she was so interesting. I met her about 5 years ago, but thank you for saying about the podcast.
Love your podcast.
I'm just winging it.
Like
we
us,
all are, like today.
But Oli, when did you get started? Tell us, we're going back again now from the start. How old were you? Did you open up naturally? Were you seeing spirit as a child? Or did you go through some trauma? Like, fill us in how that started.
So I would say I was quite sensitive, quite a sensitive child. Just like not really understanding my emotions. I never really felt like anyone was like able to teach me or explain to me like when I look back, I realized I was quite a depressive child. And there was a girl at school that told me she was on tablets because she had depression. I thought it was a disease. I was like, and whereas
Oh,
like I just had no knowledge of, I didn't understand mental health, all of that kind of stuff. So over the years, I sort of tried to find ways that I could help myself, whether it's like holistically, like meditation. Um, I was doing like lucid dreaming meditations. I was going to yoga classes, and I started to just find like, oh, this is like it's doing me good. It's really doing my focus good. I mean, I've never been medicated or diagnosed with stuff, and later on in life, realized actually I had ADHD. I really struggled with knowing where I fitted in and my focus, all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, but coming back to the yoga and that, I felt like I finally learned how to be living in the present moment because my mind was
yeah.
constantly anxious about the future or depressed about the past and just overthinking. My mind was just anyway. So yeah, I really learned to sort of meditate and yeah, the as sort of time progressed on, I was sort of interested in sort of psychic stuff. I think I'd gone to see a psychic, and she was incredible. She like brought through my nan, my granddad, all the. She just knew everything about me, and I was like, oh my God, how does this person know all of this stuff? And then yeah, she was just like, oh, you're a medium. I was like, what? I was like, I don't think so. I really don't think so. And just yes, I kind of come away with like the idea that possibly like because she used tarot cards as well, and she was explaining to me like I should just get some tarot cards, and I had this idea that you can't buy your own, which I now know to be completely stupid. But
Yeah.
anyway, a friend did buy me some, and but anyway, that was another story. They were quite dark, and I didn't really understand them. But then I swapped them for someone else with some angel cards. But anyway, I eventually bought the deck that I needed and started teaching myself. And just used to just read it from a book. I would sit with friends, and we would just like drink wine or whatever. We were just catching up, but I'd do their cards, and they used to enjoy it. I used to enjoy it, and I just even just read it from the book. It was fine. Like it was just it was exciting. It was fun. And just over time, I eventually started to understand. Oh, okay. So like when certain cards are next to each other, it can be this, or when I don't. I just started to understand. Oh, like there's a little bit more to it than just reading it from a book. Like, obviously, your intuition kicks in and stuff like that.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I went to Australia. I'd been single for years and years and years, and I met this person online that I thought was the love of my life. Turned out was not, but it was a big
Yeah.
life lesson. Was quite toxic. Was in yeah. Um, Quite narcissistic, but I didn't understand that kind of thing. I don't know if I'm just very naive, but I just didn't think that that went on in the world. It didn't even occur to me that someone could just be a compulsive liar. Someone could just be
Yeah.
all of these things. So as that relationship was unfolding, my intuition was screaming at me, and I was just like thinking, oh well, I'm just overthinking this. I'm just
Mm.
paranoid. I'm just this and that. And I
Mm.
would also voice to my partner at the time, oh, da 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 da. And I was obviously on the money with a lot of stuff, um, and would be shut down, like gaslit, and just like,
Yeah.
oh, you're insane, you're this. So there's all of that going on. So you're just completely like going in on yourself, and that was like a big. I don't know. For me, it was traumatic, and It took me years to sort of recover from that. It triggered all sorts
To
of PTSD.
heal.
Anyway, sorry, I'm
Yeah.
sort of going
Yeah.
into the ins and outs of it, but yeah, and my intuition was something that when I looked back, I'm like, I knew every single thing, and I was like shaking myself, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, why? Like, you knew this. So to me, it was like
Yeah.
this big awakening of like, oh my God, like that your intuition is know what it was. I just thought that that was just this. So then I was like, oh, okay. And I had my tarot cards and stuff, and it sounds so nicely put together when you look back and see things in hindsight. But at the time, it's so confusing. It's so messy. Healing is messy. Um, I joined a group when I was in Australia that was like I don't know, it was like a meditation group, and it kind of touched on like mediumship, psychic stuff. I was kind of interested, but I was thinking like, how do these, how are these guys doing this? They're sitting in a circle, just pointing at someone saying, "Oh, I've got a message for you," and I was like, "What? What?" Like to me, it was just bizarre. I was like, "How are they doing that?" But then as time sort of went on, I joined some other groups. I come back to the UK. I joined like a few circles. There was like development groups, just learning different parts of psychic abilities, like crystals, mediumship, all the different things. And the mediumship just really clicked. And I just was like, it just worked straight away. We did an exercise and I was able to connect to this lady that was sitting next to me. And it was just like, I brought her dad through, and she was about 80 years old, this woman. And I said his name and I described him, and I didn't really think that that was mediumship. I just could see an image in my head and I was describing it. I thought mediumship was going to be a ghost standing there and I'm gonna like
Yeah.
so I've had to really like change my whole perception of what I thought psychic and mediumship is, because yeah, it's, I guess everyone gets it differently, but yeah, I don't know if I'm just, if that even ties together. But I eventually added mediumship into my tarot readings as I was sort of
Mhm.
developing. I went to loads of different um, courses. I went to the Arthur Findlay College. I had loads of friends that I'd met at these circles and stuff, and we just kind of go to these different events, and I'd go to watch mediums demonstrate, and it was just, I just loved being in. It just felt like this is it. This is my thing, and
Soul group. Mm.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's been a lot of like, you meet a lot of wacky people along the way as well, which
Oh
is all
yeah.
part of the fun. But some of it
Yeah.
you just think, wow, like their idea of mediumship or spirituality is not my idea. And I've had to really
Exactly.
learn to just step back and just, okay, that's, and I think the older I get, the more I realize like some people are just mental. But also like
Absolutely.
also me.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
mental.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
hear it all the time. It's like, mum, she's like, mum's over there talking to dead people. It's like, oh my God, she's talking to herself again. So yeah, I understand that feeling mental.
but also like, yeah, just knowing kind of what works for me. I think that was something that
Mm,
because I had some people who were really pushy with how it should be done, how mediumship should look, and you had to fit in this box of like the S&U way and all of that. Like I found that very
Mm.
difficult, and you're then not able to flow. You're not allowed to just allow the spirit to blend and tell you what they're giving you. You have to do it by
Their
these set
way.
of rules. Yeah, and just like I had some friends that were just, when we was developing together, we was trying to develop for the SNU way, and I just found it so like it was interesting because it was like, okay, so you've got to get they're this age, they're this blah blah blah, but it just didn't feel natural. It
mm,
just, I do still do that, and there's parts of it. It is good to be able to describe them, but not so restrictive. Whereas you can't let the spirit talk and
yeah.
tell. I let
Mm.
them tell me what they want to
Hmm.
say rather than. And I don't know whether that's right or wrong, but it's
That's how it should be done. Otherwise, you're going through like a tick list exercise of get this, get that, and it becomes robotic and almost becomes scripted. Because when we
Hmm.
work in mediumship, we are receiving. We're not perceiving. We are receiving what they want to give us. And I think when you're too restrictive like that, as you say, that you don't give the spirit the freedom to express themselves as they wish to. Otherwise, you become a dictator. I want this, and this, rather than being of service and giving what spirit want you to give. Because who cares about an age? Doesn't really
yeah,
matter what the age is, as long as you've got the relationship and the character, other bits and pieces in there. Even like we were talking about the other day, Glenda, about giving names.
Yeah.
If spirit don't think a
Mm.
name's important, they're not going to give it. End of story. But they'll give
yeah,
something else to back up their evidence, won't they?
Absolutely.
that's it, that's it.
And you
I
shouldn't
think
feel
it's
restricted. You should be able to just be organic, unfold organically without those restrictions. You should be able to just flow and let whatever comes through come through naturally, not twist it and
Mm.
turn it and mold it to the way that it should be said.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
And I think I found, I mean, I went to quite a few circles, and I was going to one on a Monday that was local to me. I was going to one that was like an hour away on a Tuesday after work, and I didn't even drive at the time, so I was getting I was being given lifts to all these places. I'm so grateful for all of that. But yeah, like I think when I started to just see how other people talk as well, once I see it branch out, I was like, oh, it's
Mm.
not just like this. It's you can do it like this. And some of the teachers were just kind of like, go on, just get up and get on with it, rather than telling you how to do it, which I was waiting for them to tell me how to do it because no one at this point had told me how to actually do it. And I
Yeah.
found that quite like, yeah, like I was surreal. But then I guess it was good because it just made me just you just do it, don't
Do
you?
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And do
it.
you have a preference, Ollie? Do you prefer mediumship or tarot, or do you not have a preference at all? Where are you more pulled
Um,
to these days?
so to be honest, people always say to me, "Oh, you use tarot, it's a crutch, it's a hindrance, all of that." I love tarot, and I do my readings with people, and it includes tarot and it's mediumship. And
Mm.
obviously, it doesn't always go to plan. Um,
Of course, yeah.
sometimes, like someone could be come for a reading and their daughter's just died. I mean, I don't know that, but I'm trying to do the tarot reading. She don't want to know what the tarot cards say. She wants to talk to her daughter, and it sometimes does naturally go that these cards are just not working, so we'll just put them away and do it. But
Mhm.
I try to. I do think that there is some. Well, I find tarot. I love tarot. I love how visual it is. I love how you can sort of see how where things are going. It's like an outer scope of where things are now. That's how I view it, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it helps people make better choices. And I I'm a little bit all over the place when I give my readings. I'm just like we do a few cards, and
Me
I'm like, oh,
too.
and
Yeah.
then pick up some
Me
spirit.
too.
Your nan's saying this, blah 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 blah, and then I'll back to the cards. But
That's
it's
that's
just
our ADHD, Ollie.
yeah, that's it. And I do have to warn people at the beginning. I say, look, I am a bit all over the place, so we're just gonna
Mhm.
go with it. But if there's anything that don't make sense, let me know and I'll figure it out. But we get there. And I think
It
that's,
works.
yeah, exactly. It works.
But
Yeah,
But
who's to
it's,
tarot.
say that we have to be structured
Yeah.
and do it like that person? We're all different.
yeah,
Do whatever goes.
definitely. And I think that there has been a lot of people in my year, especially whilst I was developing and learning, that was just basically like, you have to do it like this, you have to do it like this, and you have to have your eyes open and things like that, which I understand it is like it is better to have your eyes open. And now I can sort of do it, but I shut my eyes. If I want to shut my eyes and talk to spirit, if I'm going to get a better clarity of what I'm able to say and do, I'm going to shut my eyes just because someone's told me I can't. But I'm quite rebellious. So if someone says don't do something, I'm going to
No,
do
not you, Ollie.
You, you're my brother from another mother, I tell you.
it. But it's
But
yeah, I think the best thing that I've just learned is just flow with it. And it's like I think we're all just winging it at life in general. So it's
yeah,
like
Yeah,
we
and
that's
just
are.
true. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just
I
do
think
you, hey. You would have fell out or moved on from lots of relationships in going through your journey.
yeah, yeah. And I think there's a lot of people that like even friendships and they pull back. And I think a lot of them maybe they're just not meant to be part of the journey, but it's
Mm.
can feel quite lonely. It can feel quite like not
Yeah.
being invited to certain things. And because I'm just not a small talker. I'm not someone who can just talk
Yeah.
about the weather.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I get straight to it. I'm like I talk about real stuff like what's going on in people's lives, and some people really don't like that.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I've noticed that some people they just like to go to the pub and that is their social life.
Mm.
They drink alcohol. I mean, I like drinking wine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know. I just like to go deep, talk about things, and some people can't. They can't.
Surface
And
people, they're
Yeah.
surface people.
Do you
And
think?
because we're intuitive and we feel the feels, so we talk about the feels and what's going
yeah,
on in life and how shit it can be. And it's like, yeah, I get this, I'm happening this and that. But people just think it's all roses and it's all
yeah.
magical.
And I think like it's easier to pretend that life is perfect than actually deal with life. And I think
Mm,
you can only meet people as deeply as they've met themselves. And I've completely learnt to, for me, talking has been my biggest therapy. I've been able to talk actually what's happening within me because I do struggle with my mental health and I have
Mm.
highs and lows all the time. And the only way that I can get through it is the only way I know how to get through it is to just be honest and talk about it. And yeah, I know that not everyone wants to talk about all of that stuff, and
Yeah.
that's fine. Um, but to me, that's been my savior because I used to keep
mm,
it all in, and
yeah.
that's no good for anyone.
Yeah.
Um,
So can we talk a bit more about that, Ollie, if you don't mind? Because I think that's
yeah, of
important.
course. Yeah,
Um,
of
Mm.
course.
how when you have, because I know that no, doing this work, it can be heavy, it can be emotionally heavy, it can be physically heavy, um, and understanding the way mediumship works, which is through the mind and make sure your mind's in a good place. And we've all had those days, and I certainly have when I felt like not like doing it because I feel a bit bleh or whatever. So for you, because you are so open about your mental health, how do you reconcile the mental health with doing the work? Are there times where you felt like I can't do the work because of my headspace is over here? And so how do you kind of put the two together to be able just to get on with the work, or do you not, or do you shut off and go, right, I'm not working now?
So a bit of both. Like sometimes I do just stop. I just stop. Like I mean, life sometimes gets in the way, things happen, but other things take priority. But I also do get to like some really low points where I'm like, I've got nothing positive. I feel like I lose my connection with spirit, and I feel
Mm,
like I just feel quite isolated and alone. And then I realize I'm like, okay, I need to
Mm.
work on me. So I
Mhm.
just don't book any more people in for a little while. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes I've just got to crack on at work and take on extra hours or whatever the case. But yeah, I do go through periods. And I don't know whether you guys do, but I also know that like I'm gonna be really like dramatic here, but like a flower in nature doesn't bloom all year, and neither
Yeah.
do
yeah,
we. I
Do we?
think we sometimes like we have like these waves of like times when we're like really on fire with it. We're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
sometimes I'm just like, I'm going to hibernation. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
it's real because
yeah,
I've tried to push through when I'm in those mindsets and trying to give readings to people. I can't do it. And it's
yeah,
kind
Yeah.
of like, and sometimes you attract a lot of people that are also in a lot more lost place, which sometimes you get to have them conversations, but it's, yeah, it has to be a balance. And I think the readings, I feel like I can't access spirit sometimes when I'm in those depths, when I'm in those darker places. And
absolutely. And like if I'm sick, like if I've got a cold or it again sound really dramatic, if I've got a cold or flu or whatever, spirit won't let me work because we also need our energy. We need
Yeah.
our mindset to be in that right place. Because when you've got a cold, you feel like rubbish. Let's face it, you don't want to do it. You don't want to get out of
Yeah.
bed. You don't want to do the washing up. You
Mm,
don't want to put the washing on. So spirit ain't got no chance in connecting with me if I can't even do that. Um,
no.
but I think we do go through it. I think it's important to talk about because I think so many times because of the nature of the work, we want to help people, we want to push through, we want to do our best, but actually we need to look after our own energy as well and make sure that we're okay so we can help other people who are maybe not so okay. So I think it's
Yeah.
just an
That's it.
important conversation to have. So how would you get through those moments yourself, Ollie, if you don't mind talking about it? Do you have what's your own internal therapy that you do to get you through those moments?
So I try to keep up with fitness. I think fitness is something that's so helpful. I mean, I'm quite lazy, so I'd like to go to the gym as much as I can, but I'm also quite lazy. I like to just sit about. But yeah, so I think exercise is good. I mean, forcing myself to take the dog for a walk when I'm feeling like that is the last thing that I want to do. But
Mm.
it does help. I think eating good. You have to eat well. I mean, I love takeaways. I love pizza. I love kebabs. I love all sorts of junk food. But I also know that what you eat, you are. No, what you eat, you become. So if
Yeah.
you eat crap, you become crap, and it's all of that. So it's just finding the balance of exercise, drinking water as well, trying to
Yeah.
not drink
Yeah.
alcohol. I mean, through COVID, I don't know about you guys, but I was drinking a bottle of wine every day. I don't know. I was so bad.
I love it.
Well, there weren't much
I
I
was
bloody else to do, was it, during lockdown? Let's face it.
no,
I
and
loved I loved it. I loved the shut off the world COVID
oh,
time. I,
same. But and then I used to give readings as well, and I was like, and I'm
Mhm.
like, now if I'm to drink alcohol, and literally my mind isn't right for a long time afterwards. Like not just a
Yeah.
hangover, it's like the day after that.
Yeah.
I have to really be clear. And like I don't know if that's just as time's gone on, but when I look back in COVID, I was like, I was drinking like a bottle of wine. Like, not while I'm doing the readings, but every day.
That's so funny.
But I was happy.
Exactly. You got through it.
But yeah, I
Oh,
try to just pay attention to what yeah, like even the people I'm around a lot of the time, like I don't know
yeah.
about you guys, but I seem to be a fixer for people. I get my inbox, I'm constantly counseling people, and that sounds really
Hmm.
like dramatic, but I've just got all of these messages, and it's I'm just constantly I'm doing favors for this, but I'm doing this and doing that, and it's that to me that's like I'm a people pleaser, and I'm really trying to get out of that habit, and I'm learning to say no and have boundaries, but it's sometimes it's so draining. It's so draining because
Hmm.
when I need help,
There's no one
I'm
around.
like, there's no one. There's no one.
No,
But I'm so stubborn that I actually struggle to ask for help as well. But
me too.
it's but yeah, it's just learning how to find a balance with everything. And I think
Yeah.
that's for me been so important of just learning
Yeah.
boundaries to say no to people. I think
Mhm.
people
Mm.
will take all while you give. And it's just a fine line, isn't it? I don't mind helping someone when they're in need, but you end up being their boredom.
Yeah.
You're I'm going around people's houses painting their house, and I'm just like, hang on, I've got to paint my own house. What am I doing? Like it just be like this constant thing, and I'm like, this isn't, yeah, like I don't
Yeah.
know. That sounds.
No,
I
no,
think
no,
it's
no. We talked about that in the
No.
previous episode, didn't we? About
Yeah.
when people find out that you do this work, and it's not so much for me anymore. But at the beginning, I had a lot of people, acquaintances, or and just people found out what you do suddenly appear in your inbox after years of not speaking to them, and
oh,
oh,
Hmm.
100%.
can I ask you a question? No, love, you don't want a
Hmm.
question. You want a free reading. Is what you want.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
see it straight
Exactly.
away. Um, yeah, again, I don't mind helping people, but I think you're right, Ollie. It's about setting boundaries as well, because we, as we always say in the spiritual movement, that we are still physical beings living a physical life as well. We've got our own stuff, our own shit to be getting on with, our
Yeah.
own houses to to keep in order. So it is about setting those boundaries as well. And with that said, Ollie, talking about going through those mental health challenges, has there ever been a time where, just in general, not necessarily to do with mental health, but where you felt like walking away from the work?
Mm.
Like, I'm not doing
oh,
this anymore.
I think every other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's definitely times. I mean, I went to the Arthur Finney College recently, like a month ago, and I was just looking around. I'm like, I don't want to be here. This is not. I don't want to do. If this is it, I don't want to do this. This is not.
Mm.
I don't know. And I go through these waves of things, and it's yeah. I don't know what it is, but it's like yeah. And
Gets
then there's also
overwhelming.
it is, and you
Mm.
just see some like there's some lovely people that you meet at these places, but I just look and I'm like this. I just don't know. I feel like I'm hitting my head against the wall. I'm like, have I got this wrong?
Mm.
Am I the problem? And
Mm.
I go around in circles a lot, and yeah, I do think sometimes oh maybe I'll just stop doing all of this.
Uh, I think
Yeah.
sometimes, like in that experience, maybe it just that just didn't resonate with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm now at the age where I'm like, I won't do anything I don't feel. I won't do anything that I don't think I could bring
Mhm.
value to. I won't do it. If it doesn't resonate with me, I'm not going to do it. But I think it's important because then you remain authentic. You just do yourself. You're not trying to fit into the mold of what that person is over there, what you're told you should be acting like or performing like or doing your mediumship like. You just remain true to yourself. So I think, you know, and we all do that though. Is it me? Am I the issue?
Yeah.
Am I the one that's not good enough? Am I not good
Hmm.
enough because they've got 500,000 followers and I've got 4,000 followers?
Hmm.
What's the issue? We blame ourselves for that, but I just think, no, actually, that's what I'm meant to have. Actually, I don't want 500,000 followers because what does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're on social media. What does that mean? 500,000 followers and I've got 4 likes on a post. You got to
That
Yeah.
look at
means
that in
that
itself and
they
go,
were bought.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
They're fake
Definitely.
followers. Yeah, I
Um,
think a lot of the stuff on social media is fake. I feel
yeah.
like a lot of people buy their followers, and I feel like a lot of people are not authentic and they put out what they want the people to think, but to get raw and real, not many people do it.
no,
No.
no. You don't do lives, do you? You don't do live on TikTok or anything like that, do you?
No.
I
See,
don't.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
know what it
either.
is. There's just something in me. Just, I don't know. Yeah. It just doesn't feel right for me to do it.
Yeah,
And
no, I'm the
I
same.
mean, maybe in the future there will be a time. Who knows? But the stuff that I see, to me, it just, I don't know. It's cringy. I find it really
Yeah,
It's
cringy.
showmanship.
Yeah,
Showmanship. Look at me. Look what I can do. I can spit out
yeah.
anything. Hmm.
I
yeah,
think Ollie, if you link it to you doing the tarot cards, it's the same as someone just picking up tarot cards saying, "Here's your message. Three of Swords. Oh, heartbreak's coming. That's your message." I mean,
yeah.
that's no, that's
That's
a
not
psychic as
helpful
a
at
spoon.
all.
That's not that's not
No,
psychic at all.
exactly.
Is
And I see it a lot, and they're like, "Oh, this is from your loved one in spirit." It's like, no, it's not. It's from a tarot card.
from a tarot card? No, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I've resisted doing all of that, and I don't know
Mm.
why, but
No,
there's
good for
something
you.
within me, and but it's also like the platform stuff. I've also resisted that, but that's also like, is it a fear? And I've had to really go through it. I'm like, I need to just get over the fear, and I pushed myself. And last year, I just did it, and I was like, it is just
Wow.
sometimes it is just a fear. So,
Mm.
Hmm.
um, but then I do think the lives. I just don't think it's me. I don't know. But
And
then
that's
It's not
it.
here we are doing a
authentic.
podcast.
Yeah. No, but you got to be yourself. And I don't do them anymore
Yeah.
either. I used to do a lot of Facebook
Mm.
lives or spiritual groups on
Mm.
Facebook, but I don't do it anymore. I certainly don't do TikTok and never have done TikTok live in my life and will
No,
never do it. Um, but again, if it doesn't resonate with you, don't do it because I don't know about you, Ollie, but I'm certainly not going to sell my soul to anybody just for a quick view or a like or a buck. No, thanks. I
no,
No.
just
and
want to be
that's the
myself.
thing. I find it kind of there's a lot of stuff that is quite personal as well, and like I don't know. I think just the idea of everyone watching, I would just freeze up and be like, because
Mm.
I'm an awkward person. I'm quite introverted. I'm actually quite um introverted. Don't know if I come across quite extroverted, but yeah, I'm quite private, and to me
Yeah, we
that's
were saying that as
Same.
well, weren't we? Yeah, we're
S-
quite private as
Yeah.
well.
This podcast is actually for us to come out of our shell and
yeah,
be a little bit more vulnerable because you can only show so much on social media, like because we don't do lives and things like that. So people read this or people just skim past your stuff. But since we've created this more vulnerable, we talk about how, our insecurities, our challenges, our self-doubt. I did a post the other day because I felt like I'm going to tell people I do have self-doubt. I'm not pretending someone I'm not. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, and I'm guaranteed all of us here have self-doubt. People that say that they don't, they've either been doing it for 50 years, they don't give a fuck, and you know what I mean? It's like they've got such big
yeah.
egos, but really, like, everyone has self-doubt in life.
But I
Everyone
think
does.
a lot of it's because you care, and I think that's
Yeah.
something
Absolutely, yeah.
that's so human, and you want to have. I think you need that sensitivity, and I think to if you didn't care and you just said whatever and didn't care how it affects and how it lands and stuff, there's something quite careless about that. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure it'd be lovely to be so confident with just in general, but maybe
Yeah,
that's just a lifetime of us having to do the work. Maybe we've just got to go through the whole roller coaster of life.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
Exactly.
And talking about
but yeah,
go on.
I'm gonna say you said about the podcast as well. That's exactly the same thing with me. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
the best talker, to communicate better just by having the podcast. And I think it's what you guys are doing is amazing. And I've loved listening to the episodes. I was doing the gardening the other day, digging a hole, and I was just sitting there listening to the podcast, and I was like sweating. But it's just like, oh, if they could see me now, or I was doing the housework and I had the Hoover on, so I had the speaker right to my ear while I was doing the hoovering. I was like listening to your
Love
podcast.
it.
But I was like, if they could
That's
see me
so
now, they'd
cool.
be laughing.
Do you know, I walk around the shop, so I'm like, oh, our podcast has dropped, and I'll listen to it. And the kids like
I,
will look at me, or I'm walking through the house, I'm listening to myself and David talking, I'm laughing because I'm taking the piss out of ourselves on the shit that we say.
I just well in the van on the way to work. I thought, oh, let's listen to us today.
Yeah.
What did we say? Because I've got no clue what I said after I finished recording. If I do
Yeah,
record it, of course.
I
yeah,
tell you, Ollie, every time we go on, David does a little prayer. Please don't let me say something I'm going to regret.
yeah. I think that's what I do all the time. I cringe at myself, but I think, oh well, it's just
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh,
yeah, we're just trying to
Just
be
be
being
yourself.
ourselves.
It's
real.
And
just
That's
be,
it.
yeah, absolutely.
that's
Just be
it.
real. I don't know how many times I've sent David a messenger go, "Oh, shit, I shouldn't have freaking said that." And he goes, oh, who gives a shit? And my husband goes, Teresa Caputo is going to hunt you down one day about what you said. And I'm like, no, I love Teresa. I just don't like the way she approaches people in the shopping center.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
went to see
Ollie,
her.
did you?
Oh, she was in London. She was at the O2, and we
I
went
would say
and
that I saw her as well.
did you?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like I find the way she works is backwards. It's kind of like it's very different to how it may be just how I work, but
Yeah.
she's good. But I
Yeah.
feel
She's
like
good.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a difference between the American, because we were talking to Dominic about this, weren't we? About the
Yeah.
difference between American mediumship and UK mediumship. Where I think with the UK, we're more evidence based, and we say who we've got, what we're feeling. Where I think her style and more the American style is a bit more fluffy and a bit more
and she starts with
message
I've
based.
she's like, oh, I've just got hit in the back of the head, or she'll just come out with like, oh, I've got a I've got a car crash. Who's died in a car? It's like that's just so
It's a bit
like
too broad, yeah. So where we're
it's
more
like
specific and down to the nitty gritty about, I think that's one of the major differences.
But
But
she's
yeah,
never spoke about her development. She's never said she's been through development. It's
no,
like it
no,
just
no,
unfolded naturally. She's never done development.
but then you can tell in the
yeah,
mediumship though. I'm not
Mhm.
being trying to be an arsehole by saying that.
No,
So if you look at Tyler Henry as well,
Henry, he's the
um,
same.
when I watch him, I don't feel like I'm watching mediumship. I feel I'm watching more
no,
psychic. But again,
yeah.
they
Mm-mm,
never talk about their development. And I think when you
mm-mm.
look at that kind of thing, I think in some people's mediumship, it can come out how they were trained, or if they had any training. Like if I watch a medium, I can always tell who's an SNU medium, who isn't, just by the
Yeah.
way
Mm.
that the phrases they use, the way they talk, and all that kind of stuff. But I do think the training is important. What about you, Ollie? Because you teach people, don't you?
Yeah, so I've actually got a course that I'm teaching on Sunday, teaching tarot. But yeah, like I've done some like psychic development train teaching, and it's I just always try to say like you don't have to do it just this way. Like it's everyone's going to find their own approach to it. Everyone's going to I can give you exercises and tools and all of these things, but it might not all resonate because I know that when I was learning, some of it just didn't resonate with me at all. And there were so many things that I used to resist. Like we did do these meditations about like they were just so far-fetched and
Yeah,
they're lovely, but then sometimes I'd be sitting there, I'm like, I'm not getting anything because
I did. Yeah,
I'm like I'm trying to slow my mind down to
Mhm.
go on these like crazy wild journeys. I'm just like
yeah.
I'm just looking around and like, and everyone's got all these far-fetched. Oh yeah, no, I had a blue door, and there was a joker that jumped out behind, and there was this yellow, and I'm like, what? Like, but it's yeah. I mean,
Do you know,
it's I just try to.
I had the same thing. Like, and do you know what I figured out, Ollie, with that? Because when I was sat in circle as well, we always start with the meditation, right? It seems to be it's a
Mm.
spiritual thing to talk to dead people. We need to meditate. We know that's not the case, but yeah, I was finding that they were going off to distant galaxies and they saw the fairies and the pixies at the end of the garden, and like
Yeah,
my mind couldn't go there, and I figured out. I think it's because the way we are, I'm not saying those people are not grounded or down to earth, but I think that the way our minds are, or certainly mine is that we are rooted in a different place. My mind can't go to the elementals, it can't go to the pixies and the fairy. My mind just can't go there because that's not me. I'm a bit more, I don't know, not saying I'm more grounded than them, but my feet are firmly on the ground. I guess just the way we're brought up as well, that just very down to earth and,
Mm.
not, I don't want to say black and white, I'm not going to speak for you, but a bit black and white or whatever. But yeah, my mind, I think our minds can't go there because that's not, again, doesn't resonate with us.
and I'm
Mm.
So I
quite
can't go to this
skeptical.
fairy. Yeah, I am as
Yeah,
well,
that's
absolutely.
why. I think that's why.
It's like it's lovely to have these like guided meditations that and you see spirit guides and you this and with that, but I just yeah, I've just with my development, I work best when I'm just try to just clear my mind and silence my mind, not add all of this extra stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
But
absolutely.
that's just, and maybe that is just the, I don't know. But yeah, when I've sort of been teaching, I've tried to say to people like, we'll do different approaches to it, and so like some might resonate, some might feel, some people feel a lot, and that's how my psychic or my mediumship comes in. I feel the spirit more, and then it starts to develop. But some people hear, some people see, some people
Mm.
smell. Like you know, like there's all the
Yeah,
different. We have different strengths, and yeah, there's no right or wrong. There's no one size fits all. So I think it's good to have like a, a grounded approach to it.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
just there have been some teachers that I've come across, and I've just done some random workshops, and some of the stuff they say, I'm like, wow, if this was my first ever introduction to mediumship, wow, I'm just glad that I've got more of an understanding of what else is out there. That
yeah.
Yeah.
just I just think, wow, like how can you be teaching this? The way, yeah, some stuff that they push out, and it's just it's quite
And
worrying.
that's
Mm,
important too. So if anyone's listening to this and they're going to someone and they're not feeling like they resonate, there's a reason. You might not, that might not be your mentor, that might not be your teacher. Move on, find someone else that will fit with you, that will work with you better. Because, like, I mean, David always say, you don't have the same teacher all through school. Find a different
yeah,
No,
teacher.
yeah, definitely.
yeah,
And I've there's been a few teachers that I've had, like the first proper circle that I sat in here, Claire, she's amazing. She's such a lovely woman. And we've stayed in touch, and I haven't seen her for ages, but I went and watched her demonstrate the other year, and she was on my podcast, and but yeah, like I miss the times when we were there, but you realise like I don't know it. I just remember the stuff that used to happen, and it was kind of like there was a lot of not euphoric, is that the right word? But there was
yeah,
so much
Hmm.
evidence, and I would come away completely buzzing, like, oh my God. And then I'd go to some groups and I just wouldn't get anything. And I'm like, "Ugh, this is not for me. Like talking about
Energy.
it just, but it is just sometimes you'll get
Mm.
good teachers, and
Mm.
this other teacher that I had, Tracy, I felt like my mediumship just completely elevated. It just come on leaps and bounds just by trying different techniques that she just was just like a little bit no nonsense, get up and do it. But
Mm.
also I found it difficult with the going round the circle and waiting my turn. And I don't know if that's ADHD, but if I'm connecting to spirit and I've got the spirit there, and now I've got to wait for 10 people to say their thing,
yeah,
I'm not connected anymore. They'd come round
yeah.
to me and I'd be so angry and I'd be like, no, they're gone.
Yeah. They're not hanging around.
Yeah.
Gamma's here, but she's fucked off now. She's bored.
Yeah.
No.
I find
But
that on the online ones. Every now and then I get on a development group with some of my friends, just so we can catch up and just do some practice and that. And you're on there and you're waiting your turn and they're talking utter shit and I'm like, I don't even want to do this now. Whoever's been, he's gone and they're not interested,
yeah, it's just hard, isn't it? But we find what works for us. Some
Yeah.
people, it's yeah. I think the best thing is to just be so. Just I don't know. I think this whole mediumship journey for me, it's just been me accepting me for me and
Yeah.
becoming more happier in myself. And I think that's been like the best part of it. And I mean, I'm still nowhere near where I want to be, but it's helped me
Mm.
to understand my own self. And now I'm
Yeah.
able to connect with other people and you pick up on aspects of them that it's like, I don't know, yeah. I'm just trying to be the person that I needed when I was younger. And it's kind of like you're able to sometimes
Finding
tap into little
yourself.
bits and get little
Mm.
glimmers of like things and I can spot it in people and they're like, oh my God, like, how did you know that? And I'm like, because I've been there. Like it's a lot of it,
Uh-huh.
it
Mhm.
comes from your own kind of thing,
Yeah,
your
Life.
own
Yeah.
experience.
that's important because I think when people talk about the mediumship journey, it's all about talking to dead people, but actually a big part of that mediumship journey is learning about yourself. Because
Yeah,
I mean, your mind opens to other things, your eyes start seeing the reality of things, the veil starts to come down, for lack of a better phrase, and you do
yeah,
start. That's a big part of the journey as well. It's not all talking to the dead, and as great as that is, but also, yeah, the big part of it is that self-discovery, as well.
and
And with that, come,
other people's intentions as well. I think that's been one
yeah,
thing that it's
Mm-hmm.
become so clear, and I'm like, I now can I see through people, and
yeah,
Yeah.
their little fake conversations before they're going to ask you this big favor, or
mm,
their little secret intentions of actually like they're not as authentic as I don't know.
Yeah.
I find that
yeah,
such a superpower,
Yeah.
and I love it,
yeah,
and I call it
Oh,
out. I love it.
absolutely. Me too. I can read people so easily and I call
yeah,
it and it's been thrown in my face because I say what I think, but I would rather say what I think. But I don't I can read people's energy before I even meet them. And I know straight away if I'm going to like them or our energy is going to gel. But people don't understand that. And they get offended
No,
when you go, oh, sorry, I'm not going to come along. Why not? Oh, I just don't feel like it.
yeah,
You know.
yep, yep. That's it.
And talk about your development and your mediumship, Ollie. Um, what's the bravest thing you've done during your
Mm.
journey? Has it been stepping out on platform or is there something else?
I think I think stepping out on platform, I think there's been absolutely terrifying. I definitely think that that's been a big confidence thing that I'm it's still terrifying. I don't know if you do find it terrifying.
Still, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
It's definitely helped. I mean, the podcast, I'm getting better at talking, getting better at all of the stuff and getting on with it. But do you know what? I think, when you get those bits that pop in from spirit and you think, oh, I won't say that. I say it all now. And I dare to say it because sometimes those little bits that you just would leave out, or I'm just taking a gamble sometimes because I just think, I don't know if this is going to make any sense to them or not. But you sometimes can be like really onto something or you can be way off. But
Mhm.
I think that's like a big risk that I don't know if I'm just a risk taker. I just
No, I
but yeah,
think we say that it's that trust and spirit. As mad as it might
Yeah.
sound to us, actually it doesn't mean anything to us. So, and I don't know about you, Ollie, but if I don't say what's being put in my head, it stays there and it's annoying. And so I've got to
yeah,
Mhm.
say it. Once I've say it, it's gone and it's left my brain. So I know that's
yeah.
the spirit thought that's dropped in. Um,
Ollie, I was going to ask, Ollie, do you believe that we choose our life path before we're born?
I don't want to like offend anyone, but
no, say it.
I don't think
Say
so.
it, because I always ask people, because everyone has different opinions.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like I've got friends that say all this stuff, and like I used to watch a lot of things on the TV and or YouTube or whatever, and all about. I just don't know. I don't know the answers, and I. But no, I don't. I don't think I do. I think, yeah, I'd be honest. I don't know what I think, but I just think that yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think maybe we're here to evolve and we're here for certain levels of consciousness and stuff. But I just, I've pulled away from a lot of beliefs that I used to have. And yeah,
Mm.
I just don't know. And I think it's okay to not know the answers. Like,
Absolutely, yeah.
and
Mm.
I think it's like, there's just some stuff that just doesn't resonate with me. And
Hmm.
like, yeah, I mean, I did a past life regression. Um, Well, I did it, but I didn't get much from it. I just randomly had like I was in France and I had blonde hair and there was this, there was that, and it was like, oh, okay, that's one of my
Where's the
past lives.
proof?
So it
And
wasn't
Where's the
life
proof?
yeah,
changing.
and I went and had
Mm.
a reading with someone, and I have this habit of saying sorry, and I've always had it ever since I was like could speak, 2 years old. I've always said sorry, apologise, and anyway, apparently the reason that I said sorry was because I had a past life in Egypt and stole an apple in the market, and that's why I'm sorry. And you think, oh well, that's cured all of my understand. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. I just went, okay, thank you. So I just don't. I don't know.
I
But
struggle with that stuff too. But I
Yeah.
kind of feel like we choose some things because there's things that really resonate, and then there's some things that you get told like you fucking, that's why you said that,
yeah,
and you go, that doesn't make sense. Where's the proof? Why? It
see,
doesn't make sense.
yeah, and I think like, look, if we can communicate with spirit, like that's quite abnormal. That's not
Mm,
normal. It's normal to us, and I think we forget how abnormal it is. Maybe it is normal, but there must be something else, surely. But it's like I think some other people fill in all these gaps, and there's like conspiracy theorists and all of that, and I just lose interest because I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, I just
yeah,
think, yeah, I don't
I
know.
can't do it.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think as
No.
well in this work is, there are a lot of us out there like doing podcasts and giving opinions and all that kind of thing.
Mm,
But that's all it is. It's an
Yeah,
opinions.
opinion. There's no
yeah,
when someone says to me, "Oh, you're definitely this, that," like, well, that you've got no fact to back it up because you're talking to a dead person or spirit, which other people can't see. So it is all just based on opinion. And as long as
yeah,
It
you're
is.
giving the opinion for the good of all concerned to educate or whatever, then that's a positive thing. But when you've got people chucking an opinion in your face and telling you it's truth from an ego point of view, then that's what I
mm,
have an issue with. But everything else is just an opinion. And I always say, look, I'll find out the answers when I get over there,
that's it.
and that's
And
it, isn't it?
I think I used to like spend so long trying to like not know all the answers, but try to absorb it all and like just try to figure it out. And it's like I don't think we're meant to figure it out. I think we're
Yeah,
meant to just be the best person we can be here.
yeah,
Like, I mean, no one's perfect. I'm certainly not. I have my temper tantrums, and I do crazy things that I think, oh, what was I thinking?
yeah,
Like we are human. Um,
yeah.
Yeah.
and I just think as well at the same time, as long as you've got your heart, I think as long as your heart is in the right place, and that's all we need to worry about. And we connect with people on their spirit and their soul, and that's yeah. I don't know where I'm going on this
Now,
tangent.
I think as humans, we're not. I just don't know if we're fully capable of really understanding what does go on out there.
No,
I don't
and
know if
that's
we have
it.
that
And
capacity to understand everything either.
Do you
yeah,
do you think that you've been here before? Like a reincarnation?
don't know. I don't know. I really
Glenda's being
don't.
cheeky now, isn't she?
I know, I can't help
Because
it.
I've got this thing, yeah. So like if I so like spirit can be omnipresent. Okay, I understand that. But then I've heard like loads of things being said that it's just like it contradicts everything. So
Yeah,
Mm.
if we
Hmm.
if I'm gonna reincarnate,
Hmm.
or all my family that I talk to in spirit are reincarnated, like, are they back in my life? Am I talking to them through spirit? Or are they just omnipresent and I'm talking to what I remember? There's
The
just so much.
essence.
I just
Yeah.
don't. And you can get so lost, and I used to drive myself mad trying to. Life is so complicated. I
Work
think,
it
you know what?
out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like to think I just don't care. I really don't
Yeah.
care. I'm gonna do my best.
Mhm.
It's best to just be honest, isn't it?
And that absolutely. There's one thing we do care about, Ollie, which is I'm going to ask one of Glenda's questions. Now, this is a really difficult question, all right? So do take time to think about it. Do you think pineapple belongs on pizza?
Yeah, I don't mind. I
Oh
don't mind it.
no,
I'm winning.
that's one to
Yes. Oh, I love all the
Do you not,
bullshit questions.
David? Do you not like pineapple pizza?
No, pineapple belongs in a fruit salad or in a cocktail, as far as I'm concerned, and that's where it remains.
No,
I love it.
it breaks it up. It gives that, sweet, salty taste. I love all that.
Yeah. To be fair,
That's a
pizza's my
whole other
favorite
story.
food.
Oh
Pizza's my
yeah, I
favorite
do
food.
like a pizza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pizza's the best. So, Ollie, what's your go-to food after a dem?
Oh my God,
Oh,
after a
interesting.
dem, probably load of junk food because I've probably held off from eating crap the day
Yeah.
before or something, and just whatever I can, because it's usually late at night. You can't bother to
Yeah,
cook, can you? So
that's it. That's
Mm-hmm.
true. Yeah.
pizza,
Mm-hmm.
KFC is probably the worst thing to recommend. But yeah, if I've put myself away from having it for a few days before or something, I'm just like I crave it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
you
yeah.
could,
You
you're on a
need to
bit of a
wind
come
down.
down, aren't you, afterwards?
Yeah.
I can't just go home
Yeah,
and go to bed. There's got
No,
that
yeah,
wind down period.
yeah,
Otherwise, you just lay there in bed like
I know.
yeah,
till
I
three
always
o'clock in the
say
morning.
it's, yeah, it's like drugs. You're on a high.
Yeah.
When
yeah,
you do readings and all that, I'm on a high. Doesn't matter if I've come in feeling like shit or feeling like "Bleh." When I've finished the reading, I'm on a high. Like
yeah. And it is
big
like this
time.
very elevated feeling. Definitely, I've
Mm,
always think that. But I always think after a dem, I always think, oh my God, that was so rubbish. I'm so rubbish. I could have done it better. And I've just constantly, and when people come up to me, they're like, oh, that was really good. I'm like, no, it was really rubbish. And I need to learn to just keep my mouth shut because to them, they heard from their loved one, and I need to stop but I just think I could do it better. I just think I've got this thing where I'm
No, it's the human part of us. I still do it,
normal.
and I can come off and then go, David, you're on fire, and I'm like, I felt a bit off tonight, and the woman
Hmm.
just rolled her eyes at me.
Yeah,
Because but
exactly.
again, I think it's because we care and we want to. I think we're all aware here that we continue developing. It doesn't just stop.
No.
yeah,
Your mediumship will change. You'll receive things in different ways, and you'll get deeper
Mm.
into the evidence, and you'll get really random pieces of evidence. And I think sometimes you've got to say to us that what someone said to me. No, I heard Tony Stockwell say this. I think it's him. I could be wrong. No, it wasn't him, it was someone else. But the term was we have to be satisfied with what spirit want to give, not what we want to give. And I
Mm.
yeah,
try to hang on to that and know that that's what they wanted me to say, and that's kind of it. But no, it's true. We're human. We beat ourselves. We're our worst enemies. We are our own worst critics doing this work because we care. We want to do better. We want to make sure people have got what they've come for. Do you know what I mean? So I don't
Mm.
think if that stays, I don't think it's a bad thing. 'Cause I think it keeps us grounded and it keeps
yeah.
Yeah.
us in that self-reflection
Striving
mode. Yeah,
and
striving
striving
to
for
keep doing
better, I
better.
suppose. But then I
Absolutely.
think
Yeah.
sometimes we do overcomplicate it, and I do have to.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
why all of these other things that I just try to just rein it back in and be like, sometimes
Stay in your own lane.
simplicity, yeah,
Yeah.
and just be so like the simplest message sometimes is the most effective. Like it doesn't have to be this. Like
Hmm.
I would love to be able to go like, oh, and da 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 da, and this address and this. Like, I mean, I'd love to be able to get bits that's so specific, but
It'll
sometimes
come.
it, yeah,
Mm.
It will
maybe
come.
like,
No, well, it'll develop. You say you'll look at your mediumship in 5 years' time, even a year's time, and go, "Oh, well, that's very different. That didn't happen before."
yeah,
Hmm.
So just keeping your mind
True.
there. And with that said,
yeah.
Ollie,
Absolutely.
what's next for you? What have you got coming up? What's going on?
Well, I have
Oh,
got
Spill, spill. Go
I've
on, tell
got
us.
so I feel like I've got a project that I'm working on, and long story short, got asked last year to be part of this documentary by the BBC, and they completely anyway had this. It's kind of like picked up and dropped, and it probably isn't even that deep, but to me it was, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I watched the documentary, and it was so crap, and I thought I'm so glad that I was not part of it because it didn't represent mediumship. It didn't portray what you can
Mm,
actually do. I know some amazing mediums and I know some not so very good ones, but I think you should have the whole range of I don't know, it's set me on this goal of I want to create a project, whether it's making a film, whether it's making something, a documentary, whether it's just a YouTube, I don't know, but that's I'm trying to compile lots of footage and
ideas. Mm,
and be able to whether it's bringing my podcast to video. I mean, there's so much that I want to step into and do. Um, and I feel like I would love to be able to just truth tell on mediumship and be just genuine about it rather than I feel like there's a lot of characters that we see. I feel like I'm going to start
hmm.
bad mouthing everyone now, but I don't know. I think a lot of
You
it is
can if you want.
a lot
Glenda,
of
you
it
naughty
is
girl.
showmanship. Like a lot of it,
It
I've,
is
I've
so much of it.
and it's
So much
they're
showmanship.
and I don't know. I want to educate people on mediumship and actually
Mm,
I don't know. I think that's where I don't know exactly where, but I think that's where I'm heading with it. If any of that made any
Yeah.
sense.
yeah, that's great. You've got an idea, and I believe in manifesting. I'm a big believer. Maybe David isn't, but I am. So keep manifesting, Holly, because if you keep, a dream, I think that you can make it reality. You can.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
even if I don't do any of it, I plan to do 50 million things and I don't achieve any of them, but I do one, and then to everyone else, they're like, that one thing is like, oh, that's good. But I'm like, no, I meant to do 10, 10 things. So, I mean, I'm hoping that I can achieve it. I think I get carried away. I need to actually just start doing it rather than procrastinate.
yeah.
Yeah,
Get
it's
get a
hard.
shift on. Yeah. It's hard though. In the world that we're in, it's not always an easy thing to do,
No,
is it?
No.
So
no.
Ollie, I think with one of the last questions is, you talked about truths there and telling the truth about mediumship. So what if it was your last day on Earth, shall we say, what three truths would you leave behind to tell people?
I would say love is the key ingredient and love wins over everything. Um, I'd say to stop placing happiness in the next destination. Like, I'll be happy when I get here, or
Oh,
when I've achieved this, or I'll be happy when, yeah, it's just we do that a lot and just start being happy now and really start
Mm,
mm,
to focus on, I'm just
love
getting to
that.
the root cause of our unhappiness and just, yeah. I would also say that we don't need to know all the answers. We don't need to know
mm,
just
Mm,
trust and follow your gut and follow your own intuition because we've all got these wacky, crazy ideas. And how boring would the world be if we knew all the answers and it was all just figured out?
yeah.
I think we just, yeah,
hmm.
it wouldn't do us all to be the same. So I think I would say that we don't need to know all the answers.
Love
Yeah,
that. I love those
so do
answers.
I. I love
Yeah,
that
I love
too.
that. I love that happiness. I never
It,
thought about that happiness.
no, but it's
It's
true.
something that I've realized
We're
it within
always,
myself.
yeah.
Like,
And I'm always going well, what makes you happy? What really makes you happy?
Yeah. Well, definitely
It's a
things to
good
think
one.
about there. That's a lovely one, Ollie. Thank you.
I like,
oh.
yeah.
And lastly, Ollie, where can people find you? What are you offering? Are you still offering private readings and things?
So I'm doing one-to-one readings, on Zoom. So I'm not
Yeah.
doing them in person at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'm also be teaching, and maybe demonstrating here and there. Um, my website is olicox.co.uk. Um, or my Instagram is Oli Cox Psychic. I think my Facebook page is Oli Cox Psychic Medium. Yeah, somewhere along the lines of that, and my podcast Spirit Nonsense. So, yeah.
We'll put all the links for those in the show notes as well, so people can find you.
Brilliant. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
Ollie.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thankfully.
Ollie.
Well, thank you for a second time.
No, it's
This has definitely been recorded. I keep checking because I'm paranoid now. So this definitely was recorded. So
it was meant to
we've
be.
got it.
It was
It was meant to be. But no, thank you very much for making the time for us today, Ollie, and for joining
Yeah.
us. It's been
No
We
lovely.
had
problem
we
at all.
had
Thank you
lots
so
of
much.
laughs. Lots
Yeah,
of
we did.
laughs,
absolutely.
Ollie.
Lifted
I'll
those
have to have you on.
vibes.
I'll have to have you both on my podcast next, and we can carry on the chat.
Oh,
Absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Well,
well,
thank you, Glenda, as well as always, for being my co-host and
Oh,
co-partner
oh,
and whatever other name you want to put on yourself.
we won't say what you called me at the beginning then.
What a silly cow. That's a whole other
I love you,
story.
David. Love
I
you,
love you.
David.
Love
And
you back.
yeah, love you, baby. Thanks, Ollie.
Thanks, Ollie, and
thank you
thanks to
so
the
much.
listeners. So, listeners, thank you very much as always for joining the conversation. Do keep on keep staying with us on our podcast journey. Wasn't sure what I was about to say there, but thank you for continuing here. Do leave us comments, do leave us reviews if you can. Do share us out to anyone who you think this is going to help. Because these podcasts are not about us, they're about you as well, and that's why we do it, to share our knowledge as well in that real down-to-earth kind of way. So and that's it, because I'm just rambling as I always do. But thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again in another episode.
Thank you so much for joining us in the Spirit Lounge today. We hope you enjoyed the discussion.
Yes, and if there's a spiritual topic you'd like us to discuss, or if there's a spiritual question you'd like our input into, then please send those topics and questions to us at glenda-marie1@hotmail.com, and we will get to them as soon as possible.
Lastly, if you could like and share this podcast, as well as leaving us a comment or review about what you thought, then that would really help us out and we'd be very grateful.
We would indeed. But it's bye from me.
And it's bye from me.
Join us again soon in the Spirit Lounge.